Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself constantly exhausted after spending time with your partner? Not just physically, mentally, and emotionally drained. Like you're always walking on eggshells or giving so much of yourself just to keep the peace. If that hit a little too close to home, you're not alone. Today, we're going to talk about something many people ignore until it's already taken a massive toll. The subtle but powerful signs that your relationship is emotionally draining. This isn't about blaming your partner or shaming yourself. It's about awareness. It's about understanding when what you're calling love might be slowly wearing you down. You deserve to be in a relationship that fills your cup, not one that constantly empties it. Let's start with the first. Feel like you're constantly over-explaining yourself. Every decision, every opinion, every feeling. You feel like you have to justify it, defend it, or water it down so it won't cause tension. This kind of dynamic slowly chips away at your confidence, and often it's not because your partner is yelling at you or being overly aggressive, it's because you've subconsciously learned that your truth causes discomfort in the relationship. That's emotional labor and it's draining. One way to deal with this is by recognizing patterns. Are there specific topics where you find yourself holding back? Do you pre-rehearse conversations in your head? That's a cue. And it's okay to start setting small boundaries. You can say, "This is how I feel and I don't need to justify it." The second sign is even more subtle but dangerous. You're constantly trying to manage their emotions. You notice their tone shift and suddenly you're adjusting your behavior. You feel responsible for their bad mood, their silence, their tension. This can stem from love, empathy, or even fear. But here's the truth. You are not their emotional manager. You can support them, absolutely, but when you start carrying the weight of their emotional state on your shoulders every day, that turns into quiet burnout. A real-world way to start healing this is through reflection and separation of emotional ownership. Next time there's conflict or discomfort, ask yourself, is this mine to carry or am I carrying it out of habit? Third sign, you no longer feel safe being vulnerable. And let's be real, that's a hard one to admit. You might still talk about your day, share some surface thoughts, even laugh together. But when it comes to opening up about what's going on inside you, there's a wall. And that wall didn't come from nowhere. Emotional safety is the foundation of any healthy relationship. If you fear that your vulnerability will be used against you later or that your deeper emotions will be dismissed, you start to armor up, and living armored is exhausting. A practical fix here? Start small. Share something honest but not too heavy and watch their response. Emotional safety is built one vulnerable moment at a time, and it can be rebuilt, but only if both people are willing. Let's move to sign number 4. Every disagreement turns into a power struggle, not a conversation. If you can't bring up concerns without it spiraling into blame, guilt-tripping, or emotional withdrawal, then your relationship isn't resolving issues. It's avoiding them. Healthy couples fight, but they fight fair. They fight to understand, not to win. If every disagreement ends with you apologizing just to restore peace, not because you believe you were wrong, then your emotional energy is being drained in the name of keeping the relationship stable. One practical step, start using statements that begin with "I feel" instead of "you always." For example, I feel dismissed when I try to share how I'm feeling and the topic gets changed. It lowers defensiveness and opens up space for real dialogue. And this brings us to another deep but often overlooked sign. You're more yourself when you're alone than when you're with them. Think about that. When you're by yourself, do you feel lighter, more at peace? Do you breathe easier? If the answer is yes, then your nervous system is telling you something. You may love them, but if being in their presence requires you to filter, adjust, or suppress who you are, that's not love that nurtures you. That's love that slowly depletes you. What you can do here is track your energy. After spending a day with your partner, write down how you feel. Energized or depleted. That awareness is powerful. Another major sign your relationship may be emotionally draining is this. You're the one always doing the emotional repair. Every time there's tension, a fight, or even just a weird silence, you're the one who steps in to fix it. You apologize first, you reach out, and you smooth things over. And at first, you might tell yourself it's because you're the more mature one or that you're just better at conflict resolution. But over time, that kind of one-sided repair becomes exhausting. You're doing all the emotional labor and it builds quiet resentment. Here's something practical you can do. The next time there's a conflict or emotional disconnection, don't be the first to initiate. Pause. See what your partner does. If they value the relationship and your emotional well-being, they'll meet you halfway. If not, you'll learn something valuable. Not just about them, but about the emotional balance of the relationship. Sign 6. You don't look forward to spending time together the way you used to. And I'm not talking about the natural shift that happens after the honeymoon phase. I'm talking about a genuine heaviness or tension you feel before seeing them. You might procrastinate replying to their messages or feel anxious about plans. That isn't just life getting busy. That's your nervous system sending you signals. We all have off days, of course, but when dread starts replacing excitement consistently, something deeper is off. To deal with this, ask yourself a tough but necessary question. What do I need when I spend time with my partner? Maybe you need more space. Maybe you need more joy, spontaneity, or calm. Then ask, have I ever communicated that? A lot of emotional drain comes not just from what's happening, but from what's missing and left unsaid. Sign 7 is something many people live with for years without fully realizing it. Your accomplishments and happiness don't seem to matter to them. You land a new job, make progress on a goal, or simply have a good day, and their response is neutral at best, dismissive at worst. Over time, this chips away at your spirit. In a healthy relationship, your wins feel like shared wins. There's joy, pride, support, but in an emotionally draining dynamic, your happiness might trigger distance, jealousy, or control. And that disconnect, it quietly tells you to dim your light. A real fix here isn't about confronting them with anger, but gently expressing what you need. Try something like, when I share things that are exciting for me, it means a lot to feel like you're celebrating with me. That kind of honest, non-confrontational language opens space for a more supportive response. And if it doesn't, that tells you a lot. Now let's talk about the eighth and final sign, and this one is heavy. You feel lonelier in the relationship than you do when you're alone. Think about that for a second. Loneliness in a relationship hits differently. It's not just absence, it's the presence of someone who still doesn't make you feel seen. You might be texting daily, sharing meals, sleeping in the same bed, and yet feel emotionally starved. That feeling can be paralyzing because it creates a kind of silent grief. You're mourning the emotional connection you wish you had while trying to survive the emotional emptiness of what actually is. The first step to healing this is naming it. Don't gaslight yourself into thinking you're being too needy or dramatic. Emotional connection is a human need, and you're allowed to want more than surface-level presence. Then try to reintroduce emotional check-ins. Ask each other real questions like, what's something that's been weighing on you lately? Or what's one thing I could do to make you feel more supported? These are small bridges back to connection, but both people have to want to cross them. If you've seen yourself in any of these signs, I want you to know that this isn't about making you feel hopeless. It's about showing you that your exhaustion has a name, and more importantly, a reason. And that means it can be changed. Relationships don't have to drain you to be real. Love is not supposed to cost you your peace, your energy, or your sense of self. If you've made it this far, that tells me something important. You're not just curious, you're invested. You care about your emotional well-being, you care about the quality of your relationships, and maybe, just maybe, you're ready to stop settling for a connection that drains you and start moving toward one that feeds you. Let me tell you this straight, love should never feel like survival. It should never be about constantly adjusting, overthinking, or sacrificing who you are just to keep someone else comfortable. Real love, the kind that lasts, is built on mutual effort, emotional safety, and the kind of honesty that doesn't hurt but heals. Now maybe you're wondering, what if I recognize some of these signs in my relationship, but I still care deeply about this person? That's completely valid. Awareness doesn't always mean walking away. Sometimes it means initiating real change. It means having long overdue conversations. It means getting support, whether that's through a coach, a counselor, or trusted friends. But the one thing it never means is ignoring your truth just to avoid discomfort. And here's the hardest truth of all, and sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself and your partner is to admit that the current version of your relationship isn't working. That doesn't make you a failure, that makes you brave, because choosing your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. So here's what I want you to do right now. If even one part of this video made you pause, reflect, or feel seen, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me what resonated most. What signs have you seen in your own experience? You never know who else might read your words and realize they're not alone. And if you found value in this video, real practical value that made you feel more clear or more empowered, then share it with a friend, a sibling, or someone who might be quietly struggling in a relationship that no one else sees. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, because this channel is about more than just advice. It's about truth, growth, and creating the kind of relationships that don't just look good, but feel good from the inside out. Your energy is sacred, your peace is powerful, and your love, when given to the right person in the right way, is one of the greatest forces on this planet. Don't waste it on something that empties you. You deserve a relationship that lights you up, not one that leaves you in the dark. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, protect your peace.